Okay, so dear friends, I have finally reached 1700 playing Blitz on chess.com. Wow, it's been a roller coaster, to say the least. Uh, so today I'm going to show you the game where I finally reached 1700, which has been a wild ride. let me tell you, let me tell you about that. So, so let's get into the game. Um, the game was playing with black, with white against. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that name. Someone from the USA. Okay, so we're playing uh, 3 minute game, and I started with e4, hoping to play a Smith Mora, which is the opening I've been testing every time an opponent plays a Sicilian against me. So it's a Sicilian. I go into the Smith Mora. Opponent captures. Then I offer the gambit. I offer the pawn sacrifice, and my opponent plays me knight f6, which is one of the best lines against the Mora. So you're basically declining the sacrifice. So we go into theoretical line. I play knight f3, which is not the typical game that you play, but it's one of the lines. The line that uh, uh, it's recommend that mm, the best known author, the best practicer of this opening recommends taking the pawn on d4 with the queen. So my opponent plays e6, which gives me the opportunity to go into the recommended line. So I take with the queen. My opponent attacks my queen. Then I go into this line, which aims to keep the game going. My opponent attacks my queen, and then I go back. With this line, white is trying to maintain the pawn on e5, although you give a couple of tempi in the process, but it's okay. It's not so bad. My opponent plays b5, which is the theoretical line, and I go into the recommendation, which is g3. It's one of the recommendations. My opponent plays c7, which is not a natural line. He's attacking the pawn. It's natural in that sense. So I just develop my bishop, and then my opponent, by transposition, goes into a theoretical line. Uh, okay, so I castle. My opponent advances the pawn, which is not the best move. The best move is to put the bishop to a6. And here, I'm expect. He's obviously attempting to put the bishop on a6, as you can see on the arrow, and then secure my queen and my rook. Now, the best continuation here is to move the rook to d1, which prepares a possible sacrifice a few moves later. But I forgot the theory, and okay, so I played c4, which is not a good move. It's not. Uh, but anyway, my opponent puts the knight there, and then I protect, which is okay, I guess. But I still have the problem that I can't capture the knight with the pawn because my pawn is pinned. So, all right. So my plan is to move my rook away from the diagonal, from this diagonal here, from this diagonal, right? So, all right. So my opponent brings out the bishop, and okay, so I move the rook. My opponent castles. So you, the according to the computer, as you can see on the evaluation bar, I'm slightly worse, but it's not a big deal. So now the problem is that I need to untangle. So I need to move my queen away from the diagonal so I can threaten to take the knight and get my pieces out because my I'm pretty far uh I'm pretty behind in development. So I move my queen and now I'm threatening the knight. So he has to move it. And he does. Okay. Now what do I do next? Okay, so I move my bishop. The computer wants me to go back, which I'm not sure is the best move because if I go back, I mean, he can attack my queen with the knight. I mean, he can do something like this. And then, I mean, if I move here, he can move the knight here and then take and then put the bishop here. And how am I saving my pieces? I mean, well, I mean, he can do, well, actually, I'm wrong. He can't do that. So I guess I was looking at ghosts. So, all right. So he goes back with the bishop. So he's trying to put it on the long diagonal. And all right. So I move my queen to g5, which according to the computer is a bad move. I should have just moved my queen up. And then, I mean, my idea was to, okay, bring my pieces out and then start attacking the king, which is probably not the best plan. But the problem that my opponent had was that uh, he was taking a lot of time. So he was quite unfamiliar with the position. So he attacks my f2 pawn with the battery here, or attacking this pawn. So I defend it. Sorry about that. And then he brings his knight and opens up the bishop. So I make I move the other rook to protect the pawn, to overprotect it, so I can move my other rook in case that I need to. And then my opponent is almost running out of time, so this is gonna end very anticlimactically, as you can probably guess. And my opponent doesn't know what to do, so he's trying to improve his position. And then I threaten mate. My opponent threatens my knight, so I put captures the bishop, captures, and then I put the other knight, so making it difficult for him to capture my knight. So, and the thing about my opponent's position is that he can't really move his d pawn to break in the center because I have this rook and this knight aligned here. So he's gonna have some problems, and my opponent basically ran out of time, and that's how I got to 1700. I guess you take the wins that you can get. So good for me. Now I want to show you something. I'm going to show you why I've been struggling to move up the ranks here. So you can see in this graph, my rating just goes up and then comes crashing down. I go up, it goes down, and go up, it goes down, and up, down, up, down, up, down. The problem that I'm having is that I go on tilt when I start losing. So I need to fix that. So let's hope that I continue increasing in rating. As you can see, I played another game and gain a few points. So let's hope this continues. Thank you for watching and have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you.